Hey everybody, I've recently started using several plugins that I've fallen in love with. We're ushering in, it feels to me like a little bit of a new era where we're starting to creep into the area of AI. Now, to be completely technical, what we're calling AI is mostly machine learning nowadays, but there's a couple of plugins I want to start off with that are pretty intelligent, so let's see what we got. The artist is Nabu. You've heard of him before. Amazing talent. The producer is Joey Masari. This is a song I tried to make sound pretty analog, so tell me what you think. I'm going to show you this first plugin. It's called Soothe, and it's becoming pretty popular, so if you're not hip to it, run check it out. It's catching on in popularity because it really works. I'm using it on the vocal, so here's Nabu's vocal.
If I just come over, if I just come over.
Okay, now let's check it without it.
If I just come over,
I'm using it in a subtle way, but what you're hearing is there's certain frequencies that are harsh. I'm going to solo a piece of it.
if I just come over, 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 if I just come over.
So, as you can see, it does a lot. I'm using it mostly on vocals. Once in a while I'll use it on an aux, a drum aux or something like that. I'm in love with it on vocals. Okay, the next one I want to show you is Gulos. You're starting to hear a little bit about it too. It's got quite a bit of AI in it. Now the way I use this plugin is sometimes I use it in a very subtle manner, also like Soothe. Sometimes I use it in a very aggressive manner. This plugin for me goes in automatically. It does 100 EQ decisions per second and makes those changes. That's an advantage because it doesn't go in and create any phase relationships. But it does add a clarity and a depth to the mix, which I just love. There's only 5 controls, and it took me a while to master it. So let me show you what I've got on the stereo bus.
I sent you a message. Did you get it or not?
Okay, so let's check it out. That was with it. This is without it.
I sent you a message. Did you get it or not? I sent you a message. Did you get it or not?
I hope when you're using some earbuds or earphones on this, because you can really feel the stereo width just kind of fall into place. The depth, front to rear depth, which is hard to get in a mix, is falling into place. I've got it slightly exaggerated so you can hear it, but check this one out. Okay, let's go on to the next one. This is a plugin I'm using a lot. It's by Kazrog. It's called True Iron. They're making some great stuff nowadays. I'm using it on the drum aux, as I said. I'm going to mute this parallel track for a second so you can see the impact of it. So I believe this plugin is selling for $40, really worth it. You get 4 different transformer configurations, and let's use it with a parallel. Okay, that's the True Iron. On and on and on. Here we go. I can't remember when I've had so much fun with a plugin. I don't fully understand this plugin, but I do know that it's been on a lot of great records. Pink Floyd kind of made a career out of this. Zeppelin used it. A lot of people used it. Michael Brower has one that I've coveted for a long, long time. And Overloud has a gem series. This is called Echo Sun. It's a copy of a really famous EQ made in Italy. Now, here's a vocal part that I needed a little bit of something extra on. Okay, now this is what I did with the Echo Sun. You gotta admit, that's really cool. In the mix, let's check it out. I'll go in and out with it. Watch me up here at top on the bypass. It's just fun. It makes little things here. I don't know what they do. It's got a lot of controls. The technology behind it is really ancient. It's a new way of working to get a recording. Read up on it. If nothing else, if you like engineering, this is a fascinating piece of equipment, and you'll freak out when you see what these little buttons over here do. It's kind of neat. Okay, next one. When Greg Wells told me about this plugin, I got really excited. It's an emulation of an old unit that is getting rare and very expensive, and boy, they nailed it. I'm guessing they used one of Greg's. Greg has so much equipment, but let's see what this bad boy will do. I'm using it on a vocal, the lead vocal. So here's With It.
If I just come over, if I just come over,
you can see they've modeled the saturation extremely well. This is good folks over at Acoustica. They're just making some incredible emulations of things. Although I think in the real one, this tube was just about 1/4 of an inch to the right. But other than that, it's pretty faithful. So what I'm doing here is I'm using kind of a medium fast, medium slow attack because I want some of his personality and his performance to come through. And then if you watch this meter, I tried to put the release time in time, and I'm pumping in a little bit more than I'm taking out, which means I'm getting a little bit more of the electronics to add to the color of the sound, and I think that also enhances Naboo's performance. So here's Without It.
if I just come over,
Okay, so we want a vocal that wasn't pristine, that would sit in a track that had kind of an older vibe, and man, this thing really helped out so much. Here's With It.
if I just come over, if I just come over.
See that meter dancing around like it knows what it's doing? Keep an eye out for this because I think it can find a great spot in your arsenal. It should come out pretty soon. You can find information probably on Greg's Instagram or on Acoustica's website. I kind of lost count here, but let's just do another one anyway, just to make sure we got 5. I think I'm giving you 6. Here we go. I wanted to show you this because I think this is a great example of a manufacturer listening to us that use these tools and find ways to improve them based on what we think. This is the original 910 Harmonizer, and it's so perfectly modeled. There was a little trick we used to use where we would put one harmonizer and use them in stereo, but one harmonizer would be going up while the other one was going down. And as you can see, it's real tricky to do, but let's see if we can get it. Now, the way you do that is with this button here. Without this button, like let's say if you go to link, then they go up together. But if you go to this button, you see them move, and it's real tricky. And they modeled that too. They kept the trickiness in for us. Okay, here it is on a guitar. And without it. Adds a little color to it, a little more stereo-ness. Gives it a cool vibe. Right now I've got the mix a little low. I'm gonna exaggerate it for you. Let's check it out in the mix. Here we go. Here we go. Watch me right here. I'm gonna increase it as we go. Okay, that was a little hard to hear, so I've got it set up to where I can make it louder in the mix. It's just so sweet. It's hard to describe. It's going to take you a minute. You got to fudge with these things. You know, they're not. They did a pretty good job. It was tough on the old ones, and it's tough on the new ones too. So, anyway, that's 6 for you. Thanks for checking this out. I'll see you next time.